Growing Up, a story for children of all ages by The Earth Warrior, told by Thomas R. Kuba. And this book is, as all good books are, christened with espresso by yours truly. I found this in a cafe in St. Petersburg, Florida, shortly after returning from a year in the woods. Pretty much in solitude, undergoing a deeply transformative, alchemical, spiritual experience. And I emerged from that with a new heart and a new mind, and with Christ in my heart. And this story found me, and I found it. And in many ways, it is my story. And the story of many others, no doubt. I want to share it with you. There is a long-forgotten tribe of the Great Spirit which lived long, long ago in the land across the great waters. This tribe was once strong and had great magic. The people of the nearby tribes learned some of this magic and began to use the magic badly. The people to the west hated the tribe and killed many of them. Others were sent away to live in the woods. Still others went into hiding. Many traveled across the great waters to the land they called America. Among these were the great-great-grandparents of a small boy. The boy had many friends, and they taught him many new ways. But the boy thought the ways were old and of no importance. As the boy grew, he learned many things but understood nothing. When he reached the age when he was to begin his quest, he knew not what to look for. This scared him. One night, when all alone, he prayed to the great spirits. He prayed harder than he knew he ever could. The great spirit came to the boy that same night. He came as a tremendous thunderstorm. The boy asked the great spirit what he should do with his life. He asked for guidance. The great spirit said to the boy, "Give me your feet." The boy gave up his feet. The great spirit then said to the boy, "Give me your hands." And the boy gave up his hands. The great spirit then said, "Give me your heart." And the boy gave up his heart. The great spirit took these things that the boy had given him and began to leave. But the boy called out to him, saying, "How can I walk with no feet? How can I hunt with no hands? How can I love with no heart?" The great spirit said to the boy, "You have shown great courage in giving me these feet and hands and this heart. But I cannot give them back because you have gifted them to me, and I must not refuse your gift. But you may take and use these feet that you have given me. In using my feet, you are certain never to become lost. And you may take and use my hands, and therefore be certain that whatever you make with them will be good. And you may use this heart for all your life. This heart, my heart, is capable of much more than just love. But this you must learn for yourself." Whenever you call me with your heart, like you have done this night, and I will come. Look for me with your heart, and you will see me. Hear me with your heart, and my voice will be clear as the cry of an eagle. And so saying, the great spirit gifted the boy with the spirit of the eagle, that he might soar above the chaos that he was born to, and see the whole forest, and not only the trees. Many moons had passed when the boy called the Great Spirit to guide him on his path. That night the spirit of the west came to the boy. He came in the form of time. He said the Great Spirit had sent him to help the boy. He took the boy that night and showed him the great achievements of time. He saw the huge sequoia trees. He climbed all the great mountains of the west. He saw the great waters of the west and the cliffs of the shore. He saw the deserts of the high valleys and the prairies of the plateau. He ran with the elk, that is time. He cried at the beauty of the canyons among the mountains. His heart had been touched by time. When he was returned, the spirit of the west gifted the boy with the spirit of the cougar and took away fear, that the boy may never stray from the path of the Great Spirit, because he was afraid. Many more moons had passed when the spirit of the forest came to the boy. He came as a coyote to teach the boy the way of the woods. But the boy had become a hunter of game because he had no fear. He had little wisdom either, and so he shot the spirit of the forest. For 3 days and 3 nights the boy could hear the howling of the coyote from a hill above his hunting grounds. No matter how hard he searched, he could not track down the wounded coyote. The boy did not sleep for this time, and through the howling of the coyote, the boy learned the lessons of the forest. He learned the place of the 4-legged people and the place of the 2-legged people. When, at the end of the 3rd day, the howling stopped, the boy had become one with the forest, and the spirit of the coyote joined him. Because he had been so foolish as to shoot the coyote, the Great Spirit took from him the hair off the top of his head. 3 summers passed, and the boy was again visited by a powerful spirit. This time, it was the spirit of the south who came to him as a snake. The spirit stayed with him for 5 winters and taught him the ways of the animals and the trees and the fish and the birds. He taught the boy the places of each of these and how they worked together to help each other through difficult times. He learned how each of the animals depended on the other animals for food and shelter, and he learned not to waste. At the end of their time together, the snake gifted the boy with the spirit of the chameleon so that he may be many things to many people. For the chameleon of all the animals is never what he appears to be when you can't see him, but always what he appears to be when you can see him. He is both truth and lies, but the lies are the ones that we tell ourselves. When the spirit of the south left him, the boy was quite alone, for he had grown attached to the snake and missed him. He called again on the Great Spirit for a sign to guide the feet that he had borrowed. And the Great Spirit answered. He sent the boy the spirit of the north, who came to him as a great shaggy bear. The spirit of the north took the boy away from the northernmost forests of the land and gave him a place among the many lakes of the land. He brought the boy many children and put the boy in charge of them. He left the boy and the children alone in the north woods with many dangers. The boy had to feed them and care for them and heal their wounds. After a time, the spirit came back and took away the children. The boy had learned over the past seasons to depend on the spirits, and now he had learned how to let others depend on him. It was during this time that the boy had become a young man. The great bear took the boy home again and gifted him with the spirit of the pheasant hen to guide him whenever he was given others to care for. He had no sooner returned than a great crow came and took the young man away again. The crow was the spirit of the air, and he taught the young man the special secrets of the great sky. He taught how the rains come and how the sun shines. He taught how the winds blow. The crow taught him how the people of the sky these pages are stuck together because of the espresso. How the great people of the sky live and move from land to land, season after season, never tiring and never losing their way. This learning allowed the young man to truly appreciate the teachings of his first spirit guide, the eagle. Until this time, the eagle would try to help the young man, but the young man had great difficulty understanding him. The young man was just getting used to his new freedom of the skies when the spirit of the east appeared to him as a fierce warrior. The strength of the warrior spirit was great, but he taught the young man that in strength is gentleness. And true strength is the choice not to fight to hurt, but to fight to heal. The warrior showed the young man the weapons to kill and how to use them quickly and quietly. He also showed the young man that the most powerful weapons are words and kindness. Words spoken and signs marked on bark can heal and gather peoples of many places to one purpose. Kindness brings the many peoples around you to join in the quest. During one of the lessons, the warrior took the young man on a long journey to meet the great tortoise that carries the lands through time. The tortoise showed him all the two-legged peoples of the earth, and he learned the great secret of the spirits that can be told to no one, but can be learned by anyone. The tortoise gifted the young man with the spirit of the snail, who brought patience to the land. The warrior spirit was not entirely pleased with this gift, for patience can lose battles that need to be won. And so the warrior of the east gifted the man with the spirit of a stallion to keep him straining to complete his quest. The warrior spirit left, and only 1 moon later the spirit of the great waters came to him as a worm. The worm came and stayed with the man for 7 summers. He took the man to the great waters and showed him the fish, the worms, and all the wet people of the sea. He learned all the places of these creatures, as he had learned the places of the peoples of the forest and the sky. When he left, the worm gifted the man with the spirit of the barracuda, so that he may be both graceful and certain in his actions. The man knew that his travels were now complete. He knew because his heart told him, and he was finally ready for his quest. For 19 winters he had followed the feet of the Great Spirit, and yet he did not yet know where to go or what to do. He prayed again to the Great Spirit, who came to him as a wisp of wind in the night. The Great Spirit said to the man, "Jump blindfolded into the pit where all the two-legged animals of the area come to defecate." The man lived in the pit for 4 seasons. During this time, he had an opportunity to practice the many lessons he had learned. At the end of the time, he once again sought the Great Spirit with his heart. The Great Spirit came and asked him what it was he wanted to know. "Is this my quest?" he asked. "To live in this pit of defecation?" "No," spoke the Spirit. "This was but a test. Here is your quest. But before the Great Spirit gave the man his quest, he gifted him with the spirit of the owl, so that he might understand. Then he spoke. For many years my people have lived in this land and taken care of it. When the people came from across the waters, the land was broken. The people of your ancestors had been my people too, but had lost their way, and now had come to the new land to destroy it. First of all, you must forgive them, for a lost child cannot be blamed for wandering. Second, you must heal the old people and the new people so that the land can heal itself. For the time is near that the land cannot heal. You must tell all the people that when the land can no longer heal itself, it is not the land that will die, but it is the people who have heard it that will die. Do not weep for the land, for after the lost people are gone, the land will once again be able to heal. New four-legged people will come to replace the ones killed by the lost people. New trees will grow, but new two-legged people will not come. The man asked, "How shall I do this great thing?" The Great Spirit said, "The people have lost their way by not learning the ways of the forest, much like the boy in his youth had thought the old ways were silly. Many people, old and new, had thought so too. The people had forgotten how to see with their heart. They had lost respect. Their vision became like granite. You must become the teacher and heal the people by helping them to once again become familiar with the many spirits of the earth. Help them learn the great secret of the spirits that cannot be told. Help them heal each other with their kindness. Just one more thing, if I may be so bold," spoke the man. "Why have you chosen me for this task?" The Great Spirit answered, "I did not choose you. You chose me. You called me. You gave me your feet. You gave me your hands. You gave me your heart. They are good hands and good feet. And the heart is the heart of one of the great lost tribes of the east over the waters. If each of these people were to give me gifts such as these, then the earth would not be in danger. And now I tell you that you are now the earth warrior, and you are not to be alone, but you shall not be known. It is only what you have done that will be known. Go now and do battle. Do a kind of gentle battle. Using all the gifts that I have given you. Do a battle of encouragement and healing, not of wounding and killing. Teach people to see with their hearts. After the Great Spirit had left, the earth warrior, wondered aloud how it was that the Great Spirit had given him this quest. For his tribe was not of this land, although his clan had been here for 7 generations, and he himself was born to it. He wondered why a warrior from the native tribes had not been chosen. It was the spirit of the owl that came to him and explained. Do not forget that the tribe of your fathers was also a tribe of the Great Spirit, even though they lived in the land across the great waters. Do not forget that there are many people of the tribes of this land who have lost the sight of their heart. Do not forget that there are many people of the tribes of this land who have granite in their eyes. And do not forget that you are not the only warrior given the quest of the Great Spirit. This is my story. I did give my feet and my hands and my heart to God and to the earth, and I asked God to use me to help bring the earth and the people back together. I did a ceremony in the woods before a bonfire, and I spoke to each direction, and I spoke to each element, and I spoke to my Creator, and I laid down my life. And I did this under an owl's nest. And I was bald because I had shaved all my hair off to let it all go. And I spent many months in psychiatric hospitals where people were defecating all over the floor. People didn't know up from down. They didn't know. They had lost their minds completely. And it's all rooted in us forgetting who we are as people, that we are part of nature. This is the story of many people. And these people, whoever you are out there, you are going to wake up and remember. That's what's happening. This is a remembering. This is an awakening. This is a great dream. And the light of God is prying open our eyes. And we're going to find our way back. We have to.